Obbies in Roblox are terrible. All of them are just these brain dead stage by stage trash that just waste your time. No matter what concept you add to them or how much scripting you do, these checkpoint obbies will always stand as boring and repetitive. Until a low game called Kitty's Towers of Hell came along. EToH didn't have the hardest gameplay in the world or most advanced mechanics. Overall, the game's towers were pretty simple. The difference? No checkpoints, meaning if you fell, you would have to redo everything. This idea, now known as punishment, is a piece of shit fucker bitch. Punishment is a slippery slope that a lot of towers get completely wrong. Some just straight will not allow you to fall even a floor down, while others are just absolute bastards. What you think falls under the bastards category is probably SOD, because you suck ass and I'm better.
Is that really the fastest you can play, you worthless Jaime fuck?
When I talk about bastards, I'm talking about the big boys, the phone snappings of the world. Look at this outside. Who made this? Hitler? Oh yeah, and also the latest event, Halloween 2023. Now this event was okay. I can't say I really enjoyed it all that much. The boss was dope. I'm glad we're starting to get boss fights to events that aren't absolute bullshit hard, but the steeples were eh. First two steeples were pretty much what I expected. Extremely safe towers that never punish you, unless you die, but you must be a new type of special to do that. Then there was the last steeple, Steeple Moonlight Heresy, which is just the biggest son of a bitch on planet Earth. You gotta do tricky gameplay combined with unique client objects, and the real kicker of it all, if you fell on most of the steeple, you'll fall all the way to floor 1. Hell, not even floor 1, fucking floor 0. So it's not that hard to guess what I thought of this deplorable piece of shit. This is my favorite steeple here. There are two I was completely zoned out of and I barely remembered any elements of them, but SOMH was so extreme in terms of punishment that I had to really pay attention to how all the mechanics work, and I actually ended up liking it by the end. Hell, if I got the option between Resident Evil 4 and this, I would pick Resident Evil 4 easily. That's how much of a difference punishment can make. Despite this easily being the worst steeple in terms of quality out of the three, I enjoyed it more because it challenged me and was satisfying to finally complete. Another good example of this was Citadel of Green Stuff. Now the original version of the Citadel was a complete bastard. And no, I do not mean this in a good way this time. The gameplay sucked, but most importantly the punishment was cruel. Given how the Citadel was designed, if you fell, 3 or so floors down, you would have to redo all of the floors that stuck out of the frame. So those 3 floors now turn to about 6 that you would have to endure every time you fell to the Citadel's frequent difficulty spikes. However, thankfully the creators actually became lucid and fixed this issue in the revamp, which goddamn is this now a great Citadel. Not only is the gameplay better, but you only have to do the extended floors once due to bug progress, with the now main addition of the Citadel being that you can actually enjoy it like a normal human being. But what about Bloodthirsty Kinos? No, not fucking TOBK, no. Tower Bloodthirsty Kinos is a pretty good tower. The gameplay isn't for everyone, but personally after learning the strats to the gameplay, this tower was fun to progress through and eventually complete. What wasn't fun was this degenerate inbred fetal alcohol syndrome outside section. This entire tower up to this point was littered with safety nets. Given how it's built, the average fall will at most send you 2 floors down. However, for some reason this outside exists, which is not only the last section of the tower, but it also hosts the hardest jumps. This is by far the worst way to handle punishment. Spam a bunch of safety nets, okay, but why is the entire difficulties, otherwise good tower, hung on this inconsistent ass outside? Final stretches were a huge issue back in Ring 9 days. Some towers like Bent Trauma and Nervous Swing implemented theirs extremely well and carefully, while something like Questionable Trials and High Adrenaline relied on these outsides to give them artificial difficulty. Ideally, a final stretch should be a short but stressful part of gameplay, not the literal only reason the tower is a higher difficulty than it should be. This isn't just a Ring 9 issue. Towers have been doing this for years. Strategic mechanics, for example. Beating side A is at most peak realm, but then you realize you have to play through 10 more floors of dumb gimmicks while over a GBJ. Wow, what a shit tower this is. But I've been complaining a bit too much. What even is good punishment in towers? Well, that's a lot harder of a question. Towers like Polychromatic Zero and Corporate Enterprises deal with it in a pretty simple way. Have these punishing sections, but let the player back in tower as well as add button progress so they don't have to redo everything. Astro Eclipse also does nicely here, which is a lot coming from me since I don't even like this tower, but I guess I gotta give credit where it's due. This not only has a final stretch, but also multiple sections where if you fall, you die instantly. So this is another TBK, right? No, not at all. Unlike TBK, it's consistent. It adds tension and tests you throughout the tower, while also making it short too, meaning you could get back to the part you fell on in 5 minutes. I can't say the same for Tower of Externalizing Insanity. Okay, now this is just a waste of time. TOEI is just so dumb. For the first 5 floors you play pretty decent gameplay that's well balanced and solid until you get to this catch net. Now normally safety nets are good in towers, however TOEI uses an excuse to drop the quality and make the tower 10 times harder. Not to mention there's floor 7. Fucking floor 7. This might be one of the worst gimmick floors I've ever played. You have this horrible low jump and you have to do actual hard gameplay with it. Add to the fact that you have to redo this trash every time you fall. My only guess is the creator received a brain transplant halfway through creating this tower. So, what was the point of this video? Well, if you gained anything, I hope it's that the best of punishment is when it makes sense with the tower. Realistically, there is no proper way to approach it. Some towers like Ben Trauma do perfectly in this field. It has these extremely punishing moments, but to compensate it's incredibly short and consistent, relying less on colliding objects and more on tough but fair purism. Add safety nets to this tower and it is ruined. The tension is gone and all that's left is a missed opportunity. Same with mean tasks. If you removed all of the nets and made it a linear tower that goes up, it again will lose a lot of its charm and in the process be way shittier. And hey, wait a second, that's just augmented misery. Christ, no wonder why that tower sucks. This video is already disjointed and messy enough, so I'll just leave you with this. Sometimes your tower does not need to be the most climactic thing on the planet, and a lot of times it's better to just leave it as inconclusive rather than completely ruined. Also, man, floor 7 on this fucking tower is so bad, dude. Is a guy who made this tower brain dead or something? Holy shit. 0 out of 10 for Tower of Externalizing Insanity, floor 7.
You're done.